Hi friends, and welcome back into my studio. If you are new here, my name is Tammy Ernest and I am a Longarm quilter, and here on my channel I like to share customer finishes as well as my own personal projects. But today is a Flosstube, long overdue. I promised you I would do it here in March, so I am back for another Flosstube. I don't even know when I did the last one. I'll let you go back and look, but long overdue and so fun to get ready for this. So I'm going to do a WIP parade. I'm just going to walk you through everything I've been working on. I didn't even bring stuff that I have kitted up or haul. It's gluttony. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. And so I didn't even bring all of that stuff. I brought a few things that I have kitted that I'm going to be starting here in the summertime, or that I want to do over the summertime, but this is mostly a WIP parade and a little other few things thrown in here or there. I love cross stitch, and I am so glad that I was reintroduced to it. This is something I did when I was, wow, I don't know, growing up. I did cross stitch way until probably our early married years, and then I put it away. I didn't think anybody was doing it anymore. I had no idea what was out there. And several years ago, watching a Lori Holt YouTube video, and she showed Flosstube, and I mean, I jumped on the bandwagon right away. I had no idea, and I am so glad. So when I did cross stitch before, I always stitched on Aida, usually 14, 16 count Aida. I always stitched in a hoop. I thought that's the way everybody did it. And not until I came back to cross stitch did I understand that there is a whole world out there that was not in my local box store. So I now stitch in hand, and I love that. Don't know if I do it exactly right, but I found it's something that works for me, and these pieces are for me and for my family, so it works for me. Do stitch in hand. I love linen. Rarely go back to Aida now, maybe occasionally, but it's mostly linen. My sweet spot is 36 count. I tried 40 count. You know, I don't know, a while back, a couple years ago, didn't like it right away. I've kind of gone back. I kind of am liking 40 count a little bit more, but everything that I have purchased, I guess I want to say, most of the linens, when I purchase a linen, I usually purchase 36 count. So it's one of those things, I think it's even like that with quilting. You don't know what you like until you try it. So don't hem and haw. You know, I don't know if I want to do this or this. Just try it. Just try something. You can change if you don't like it. Give it away. Start again. Start it on another piece. You just don't know. So just the clarity comes in the doing. So once you start doing it, you'll realize, I really like this. I don't like this so much, and be happy with that. That is you. I mean, we are all so different, and it depends on our health conditions, depends on our eye conditions, depends on our hand conditions, and it depends on our personality, what we enjoy doing. So don't be afraid to step out of your box, you know, what you normally do. Try something. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and go back to the normal. And then if you do like it, you've started something whole new. So just enjoy that. I did want to show, I told you on a prior Flosstube also that I got rid of all my cross stitch pictures. I had things on the walls. I really didn't think people did it anymore. So I got rid of Patriotic pieces that I had, you know, big bear ones with quilts on it that I got rid of. I got rid of all that stuff, and it just breaks my heart that I did that. But in searching through, I have my cross stitch stuff in a couple different places right now, and I really need to coordinate it all into one area. But I was going through a dresser that I have some finishing supplies. When I first started back into cross stitch, that's where I kept things. Now I kind of keep some stuff upstairs in my quilting space. But in going through that dresser looking for something, I found an old piece that I had finished, and the only reason I still have this is because it wasn't framed and it wasn't on the wall. So this is in my Aida days, and you can see I even around the edges I would masking tape around the edges. Anybody else do that? So this is done on some sort of I don't know if it was originally white and it's like dirty and now a creamy color. I don't know the pattern, but this was in, I am sure I did this when my oldest kids were young, because I did a lot of Noah's Ark and that kind of thing. A lot of things that you would find in your box store. You'd find those kitted projects, and that's really what I did. So this is all done in DMCs. And you can also notice a lot of back stitching in this. That's another something that I don't typically do much anymore. I know some patterns still show back stitching, but I feel like with the over-dyed cottons that we use now, I don't think that the back stitching is required as much. And we also don't have to change colors as much for the most part, because we can get a lot of the modeling, a lot of the different tones in greenery or in boats or whatever. We can get a lot of that by using an over-dyed cotton thread, or some sort of that's more of a dyed, where you get that variation in color in one skein. So Noah's Ark, the animals came 2 by 2. After 40 days, the rain stopped. I did put my initials on there, but I didn't put a date on there. So I don't know if I'll frame this. You know, this kind of thing is kind of outdated, but everything comes back around. So if I hang on to it long enough, maybe my great-grandchildren will be back into, when their nurseries are being done, they'll be back into Noah's Ark, but just so proud of it. Now I'm not going to get rid of it. I don't know if I'll frame it. I'll keep it somehow. I even have little French knots. I don't mind French knots. I've not done them in years and years, but like the little eyes on the monkey are French knots, and the rams and the bunnies and the swans, the giraffe, a lot of them are. Yeah. Now the ones on the elephant are cross-stitched, and the lions, but then some of the others are French knots, and I never minded French knots too much. Did pretty well with them. So there's an older piece, Throwback. I think that's the only one I have left. The only one. Just makes me sick. I did rescue one, and you might have seen this on another, over on my bookcase. I have another piece. I rescued this one several years ago, and I really liked this. This is not full coverage, and I might have shown this at one point, but this is not full coverage except for the whole cabinet. I love those cabinets. The quilt hanging on the open door, the apron over the chair, the little boots, the churn, the butter churn. Now the fabric is an Aida, and then there's little stitches every once in a while to make it look like the wallpaper, and I think that's so cute. I had stitched this. I was going to make it into a pillow, and then, but it feels so plain. I really like newer ways when people add other fabrics on there, or they add like some ribbon or some chenille. Maybe I could leave it like this and just add some of the chenille or something around the outside edge to dress it up a little bit. So I've got it all ready to stuff, and then to stuff it from the back, and then to cover that opening with some wool pieces or something. But give me your ideas. What do you think? How should I finish this? I could just finish it as a flat fold and kind of like this, and put it on a clipboard or on a book. I've got plenty of old books around too, but it's kind of square. That may not work on a book. So give me your ideas. How should I finish this? Should I just leave it as like I have it and add some around the edge, or should I undo it and do something else with it? But kind of newer to those finishes. I need to learn better. Rather than just frame something, I need to learn better how to do that. So I do keep a book of days. I didn't even bring my 2024 one. I do have the 2025 one. January I did really well. Now I have gone through and added stickers to most months, and I try to do it kind of like by color theme is how I do it. Or like June is all flowers, May I have all in music, just because I look through my sticker books and then I find April I don't have anything yet. March I did it like all traveling and maps. That's kind of fun. February I did more hearts and pinks, typewriters, and ladies in pink dresses and that kind of thing. So January was all books. And so I did fairly well in January. I was keeping up with my stitch alongs, and then February I had I don't know, I just kind of fell off. I don't know. things didn't go so well in February. And here in March so far, I've been doing bindings every night. So I'm just about caught up on my bindings, and we'll be back to cross stitch, and I am so excited. So I do keep a book of days. I do enjoy this. I do write down on the edge, I write down my starts. So like in January 1st, I had a start. January 2nd, I started the Fox and Rabbit Mystery Sampler, and I'll show you that one. January 16th, I had a start, and that's what I'm doing with my Quilt Circle membership. And then I did have a start in February, for the Super Bowl. And I'm not even sure I did too much on that one, but I'll show you that one. I think I'll show you that one today. I can't even remember what it is. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Oh, yes. That was my February start. So on Super Bowl Sunday, I started my Valentine's Day start. That's what it is. I wasn't recognizing the name. Okay. So that's really the only thing I did in February. And then March, I've been doing bindings, but I'm going to get back to some of that. So I kind of grouped this by season. And so I'm going to start with my Valentine's. I don't have any more done on that one, but I want to show you the bag that I got to host my stuff in. Then I'll move through some winter stitching, some fall stitching, some everyday stitching. I don't have a lot of spring, but I have a few things to show you there. My everyday kind of projects, things, and then some plans for summertime. Patriotic. I love Patriotic. I'm not a big spring stitcher, mostly because my favorite colors are the summer and the fall colors, and so I really tend towards those cross stitch pieces. In springtime, I don't cross stitch as much in the springtime, probably because I'd rather be outside getting things going in the garden before it gets too hot, So I just find I don't have a lot of spring pieces. I would love to decorate more with spring pieces. So maybe some smalls or some things is what I should work on. But that's kind of how I grouped today. So we'll start out just with Valentine's. You saw this recently. Let me grab something else here. Okay. You saw this recently. I don't think I have done any more. Oh, I didn't even bring it. The kindness, the mementos of the heart. Hold on just a second. It's in a different bag. All right. I had this in one of my, okay, if you're like me, everywhere I go, I take a bag with me, everywhere. And I love this. I don't even know. This is by a company called Out of Print. And look at this bag. It's like an old, what do you call that? The old card that you would pull out of the back of your books at the library. And I just love this. Everywhere I go, I take a bag with me. My girls, we had this saying, and I forget where we got the saying, but never leave home without a book and a snack. That was our motto growing up and growing up. We never left home without a book and a snack, because you never know where you're going to be stopped in traffic. You're going to have a flat tire. You're going to be, whatever. You're going to be stopped somewhere for a while, and you want to pull out the book. I would pull out the book. I would pull out cross stitch before you pull out your phone. We go right to our phone, We shouldn't. We should really invest our minds and our time into our books, into our cross stitch. So our theme is we never leave home without a book and a snack. And it's so funny because Maggie sent a picture a week or so ago and used that quote and showed what she was doing that day and how she was sitting outside. It was a nicer day. She was sitting in the greenhouse, actually, watching Spencer do some work, and she was sitting there, had her snack and reading her book, and I just love that. But I never leave home without a bag, and I carry my planner in here. I usually carry cross stitch. I'll carry a book, just whatever I'm going, but you'll never see me leave home without a bag. So whenever I was leaving recently, I stuck this in my bag to travel. So this is the Mementos of the Heart, and you've seen this recently. I don't know that I've put any more stitches into it since I showed you the last time. I did start this on Super Bowl Sunday 2025 and have worked on it throughout February. I'll continue to work on this one. I would really like to get this one done soon. Sorry if you can see my little needle stuck through there. And I'm doing this on Cedar River linen in the Scrimshaw color, 36 count. The threads that I'm using, I did change up from what was called for in the book. I am using used brick, cayenne, and merlot. So, Mementos of the Heart. This is a book a booklet put out by Heart and Hand. This has their collector's hearts from years past. And then I also, and I've already shown you this, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, I picked up several of their other collector's hearts, and I have them all in this bag, and this is brand new. I got a bag, sorry for that, from Dot Dot Goose for my Valentines. Now, I do like this pink. I just like, I have to house my my Valentine's Day projects in something Valentine's Day. So, and I did pick up this love charm, and that is from, I don't have the name here in front of me. I'll link it down below. Oh no, I have it. It's called Sampling of Memories, and here is her card, LaDonna Snellbaker, and there is her card. This was on Etsy, Sampling of Memories. And so I got a thread ring or a floss ring. I have not put my flosses on there yet, but I did get a zipper pull as well. A lot of places that do, if you look on Etsy, a lot of the designers now will give you the option of doing the zipper pull and the thread ring. I like mine to match. So when I first started doing this a couple years ago, I love to dress it up. To me, the journey is just as important as the finish, and so this makes me happy. Having a bag that's very pretty, and having the charms on there as well. I love my charms to match my bags, and so I usually always, if I have the option, I'll always do a zipper pull as well as a thread ring for each of my bags. So that's where all my Valentine's Day things are housed. I will continue to work on this. The other Valentines may have to wait till next year. I don't know. But grab yourself a nice bag, take it with you everywhere you go, and you can stick your cross-stitch pieces in there as well. All right, we'll move on. Let me show you. I'll save that one for a little bit here. And let's just move on to some winter stitching. So this again is a newer bag to me. This is from Sherry So Sweet. I did kind of splurge on some bags over the winter time. So love this fabric. Oh my goodness. Love, 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 love. I typically do ones with vinyl on the front. I have made my own bags, but as busy as I am with cross stitch or with long arm quilting right now, I just haven't had time to do my own bags. So, and these ladies do such a lovely job. So I've just been purchasing my bags. This one, I just have the charm that's on here. It has a little set of scissors on there. I haven't found, so far, I haven't found a different one to match that bag that I really like yet. So, all right, so housed in this bag is Winter Moon. And I started Winter Moon on December 21st, the first day of winter. And I don't know, is there a spring moon out? You know I have some of those other patterns. I've got to find them. My cross stitch stuff is scattered in too many places. But here pretty soon it'll be time to start the spring moon. So anyway, Winter Moon, I have really enjoyed stitching on this one. Now I am going to make a couple changes, and I heard recently that there are some others out there that are making these changes also. I'm not a big rabbit fan. Around here, rabbits are a nuisance. So I'm just not a big rabbit fan. If for springtime, I like to decorate more with flowers. I kind of like birds. I'm really, birds are okay too. I don't know. They're just not my thing. I like, for Easter time, I like a cross or things like that. And so I tend to decorate with those more, but I'm not just a big bunny fan. And I love this house. I love the trees, but I'm not a big fan of the rabbit and the fox. So I'm going to leave the rabbit off the roof of the house, and I think it will look fine just finishing out the moon. There won't be too much to mess with there. But I did leave the fox off as well, and I'll show you how I went around that. So let me find what am I using? I'm using 36 count Saltbush, which I think I just bought this as a kit. Called for linen. Yes, so that is the called for 36 count saltbush, which is what I'm stitching it on, which is a grayer linen. Let me put this on a design board. And let me move my needle out of the way. All right, I did not iron any of my projects. You're just seeing them as I'm pulling them straight out of the bag. All right, so Winter Moon. And so far I have worked on the trees. Let me hold it this way. Doing the trees, so I'm an upper left-hand starter. So I start up here and I'm working myself down here just to do the trees. And then I've just got the barest little start on the house right here. So the saltbush is a very gray linen, which I think works perfect for winter time. It gives it kind of that darker feel. You know, just the grayer tones of the winter time. And this is what I was talking about by using overdyes. We don't have to change threads as often. So this tree right here is all done in one color. And let me see, I can tell you what the color is. Maybe. All right, that is done in spinach. So let me see if I can find that for you so you can see what it looks like. My threads are all knotted up here. All right, so here is spinach. Now my spinach is very mottled. They're all caught up at the end. All right, so you can see my spinach. It is very mottled color. It goes from lights to darks in there. But when you have that, let me show it on the linen. When you have that, then I have this one tree that's all done in one thread color. I'm not having to change threads a lot, but you get all that modeling in there. You get the different shades of the tree, and I just love that. I love that. Now this tree down here is done in, okay, let me find it. That one is done in juniper. And let me show you juniper. Not as mottled of a color. See if I can find it. Yeah, this one, I'm just about through it. Getting a little bare on my thread. So there's the juniper, a little darker of a color and a little bit of mottling, but not as strong. Okay, so you can see some lighter areas in my tree, and you can even see it on the linen there, but this one very strong. So I love the overdyes. I love because we don't have to change threads as often and we can just continue working, but we still get that variation in color. So loving that. So right now on my thread ring, on this one, I have it on a thread ring that has a crow. Doesn't really match the bag, I guess, but so that's Winter Moon. Oh, so I was going to tell you how I, so right here is where that fox should be. You can see on there. So what I did is I tried to follow, you can see how these are going to end up being white. The garland that's going on the tree there, those are going to end up being white, but I haven't filled that in yet. And I just tried to follow some of the, a similar design like it was in the further up in the tree. And I continued that garland around, probably didn't do the best a job, but that's where the fox would have been, is right down here. So then I tried to add in some of these little snowflake motifs there and just continue the garland going around, tried to shape the edges like some of the shapes up further. But I really think if somebody hadn't seen the pattern, they wouldn't even know that there was that I had filled it in with something different. So that's my plan. Others of you, I know you're going to enjoy the fox and the rabbit, and I think that's great. I just don't want them in my piece, so I've left them out. And you can see I've just started the house just a tiny little bit. Now that is one area where we're changing colors a lot. What I do is I put one thread color on my needle, and I do as many little bricks as I can with that color that are within touching point of the others. So you can see I've kind of jumped around a little bit. I'll do 2 or 3 that I can fit in. The more I get in here, then the more bricks I'll be able to do in different colors, because I'll have more touch points. So right now, if I just start with 1, then I've got to do the next one. Okay, now I can jump over here and do 1 over here, because I know it's just 1 down, 1 left of another brick or whatever. But that's how I do it. I do as much as I can with that 1 color of thread before switching colors. Anyway, so that is Winter Moon. Loving that. Let me put this back because I don't want to have things scattered everywhere, right? If you get them out, you put them away. That's one of the rules I taught my kids growing up. You get something out, you put it away. So that is Winter Moon. All right, let me show you something else I've been working on. I started this on New Year's Day. I wanted to do something New Year's Day, and I probably only worked on it on New Year's Day. Let me see. This Happy Morning is what it's called, and it looks like that is the only day I started it on, but I started it on New Year's Day 2025, and this is what the pattern looks like. I did pick this up at Country Sampler as a kit when I was there last winter. I want to say when we took Daniel back to school, maybe after Christmas last year, and we went to Country Sampler, and love it, love it, love it. It's a little bit of a drive away from his school, a little bit through the country, but very much worth the trip. So I picked this up. This does come in 2 different colorways, and so you can do it. Let me see if there's a picture. You can do it in a dark version, the black version, or the vintage version. And you'll notice my pattern, I did do it in the vintage version. So the black version, if I remember right, the background is dark. I can't remember for sure, but there are 2 different versions of this pattern. So notice the barn. I love the barn, and notice the pattern on the barn. Love it, love it, love it. This is a very thick pattern. Very thick pattern. All right, I am using, they kitted it up with hog bristle, which is the called for. Okay, so let me show you this. Show you my little start. Hog bristle is a darker linen. And again, let me hide my needle. Because I stitch in hand, I end up with my needle on the front. And so when I stop a stitch, that's why it's in the front of my thread, or the front of my project. All right, so this is 36 count hog bristle. If you've never been to Country Sampler, you need to go. They kit up everything that you would need. There's such inspiration in the store. Very curated store. But it just makes, the home decorating stuff that they have, the cross stitch, the quilts, it's just a destination shop. All right, so started on the border, and this is just my colorways. Notice those dark flowers. I love that. Let me show you the threads. Oh, I don't even have the threads. Oh, I do. They're on a thread ring, but for some reason they're still in the bag. All right, I just have these on a 2-inch ring. Oh my goodness, you're not gonna like me. Look at this. My DMCs, all I did was hook them through the loop at the edge and put them on here. Just so they were on a thread ring, but I haven't even wound them onto a card yet. So here's the colors. And aren't they pretty? So rich on that linen. I just love it. I love the dark colors there. A little bit of pops of light, and I don't mind that at all. But the dark is the main part of this pattern. Love it, love it, love it. Then it says, "Yea, Lord, we greet thee, born this happy morning." So if you did not want this as a Christmas piece, could fill in those words just along with the rest of the grass, and it would totally be, I think this would be an any day, all the time. It's only the verse that makes you think that it's Christmas. So But I love the verse. So, but if you wanted to keep this out all the time and not just as a Christmas piece, if you just filled in, continued that same pattern as is in the grass with that. So a little bit of a start there. I started on the border. I'm one of those, I'm not a monogamous stitcher because I get bored very easily. I'm the same way with my quilting. So I'll have many projects going because if I get bored with something, I'll move on to something else. So I did some of the border here, and then I got bored with that and and then I moved on to let me do some stuff in the center. So I'm not one that does the entire border all the way around. I get too bored with that. I'll do part of the border until I get some reference points that I can start in the middle. Again, I'm an upper left-hand starter, which is so different because years ago when I was doing cross stitch, I always started in the middle. With my Ada, I always started in the middle. So I don't know. I do everything different now. But then once I get a little bit of the border going, I get kind of bored, so I'll move into the middle. And so I've just done one little snowflake and then one little, I started just the bare little minimum on that star right there. So pretty. Oh my goodness. This is so fun to do a WIP parade, whether anybody watches this or not. It's so fun for me to get out all my projects to see, okay, where am I at with each one? What do I want to start on next? Why did I set this one away? So whether anybody watches this, I'm enjoying it. All right, this is something I've not worked on for quite a while, not even in a project bag. It's just in the plastic. And this is Jingle All the Way. I don't even think I worked on this at all this past winter. So this is from 2023, 2024 winter. And I pulled the threads off their floss ring because I was probably using it on something else. But again, these are the colors that I like. I like the darker ones. And I do believe I'm assuming I'm using all the called for. I don't change things very often. I think the only thing I might have changed on this one was the white. And I do have a card in here. So it's stitched on 36 count Edinburgh linen vintage country mocha, stitched 1/2. Called for threads except for the Classic Colorworks eggshell. I changed it to the Gentle Arts chalk, and that's because of the linen I was working on. The white didn't show up that well. All right, so let me show you this. This is Vintage Country Mocha. Flatten this out as much as I can. So another barn. I don't know if I've even done anything on this, probably since I showed it last time. But Vintage Country Mocha, and this is called Jingle All the Way. I have the barn all finished, and you can see I changed the white to the chalk just so that it shows up better on this Vintage Country Mocha. There's little chickens in the barn windows up there. And then I've moved over to the left-hand side, done the tree. You can see the fence, and there's snow caps on each one of those fence posts. So pretty. Oh my goodness. But then you can see, so once I get the fence done, I'm ready to start on this big house over here. And I just love that white house. And so that's why I changed to more of a stark white, is because I wanted that house really to show up. And because it's one big section of white, it'll show up even better than just these 2 or 3 rows of white as the snow. It'll really make things pop out. So, and the quilt blocks that are underneath the fence, so cute. Oh my goodness. This is so fun. So fun to pull these out and go, oh yes, I remember. All right, let me put the threads back in here for this one. So I'd love to know, as you're watching this, just stick in the comments, oh yes, I have that one kitted up, or oh yes, I'm working on that one too, and would love to get back to it. Because like that one, I never even pulled out this winter. You know, we get looking at something else and we don't even go back to the ones that we had done before. All right, so this one is one of the very first ones I started when I came back. Yeah. Okay, so this is a Prairie Schooler, book number 133. I started it in February of 2022, stitched on 25 count Lugana Cloud. All right. So let me show you this one. This stitches so fast, so fast. There's really no reason why I haven't, oops, put it on this side. And I don't know if it stitches so much faster because it's on a larger fabric. I'm assuming that's why. You can see so much progress in very little time. And this is again one of those pieces that I'll do as much as I can with one color. So I might do these words here, jump down and do this one if I can get the word down here, and then I'll come and do the dark brown, dark brown, dark brown, and then I'll fill in the blue and the blue and the blue. You know, I'll do as much with one thread as I can. So I'm all the way down at the bottom. Let me show you. Oh, you know what? Oh, yes, I do. Here it is. Wasn't sure I had the color picture. All right, so this is Prairie Schooler, book number 133. Lots of other projects in this. You're pulling different things out of this larger piece, but I'm doing the larger one. So I'm down here onto the house. Large red house, love that color. Now I am using 2 threads over this one, am I not? I didn't write that down, but I'm just I am pretty sure, yes, I'm using 2 threads over this one. I like 2 thread coverage on this large of a linen much better than on this large of a fabric, much better than 1. And I think for a Prairie Schooler, it just fills in a lot better. I just think it looks more Prairie Schooler, being more, a little more pronounced, I guess, in the colors rather than the more, more vintagey color, I guess. So that is that one. Not too much more to do. I have this one on an old pin. I like that. And these DMCs I have put on cards. You'll be proud of me. I made my own little cards and numbered them, put a little sticker on there. So some of them I did fancier, you know, I rounded the corners, that kind of thing. Others, then I ended up buying some, you can buy these tags like at Hobby Lobby and that kind of thing. And just wrote the number on there. So I like it to be pretty. Sometimes I don't want to spend the time to do that. I just want to get stitching. So that is Winter Wind is the name of that one. That's what that one's called. So I think those are all my winter projects that I have going on. Christmas, winter, all of those. I'm going to stick this back in the bag. I would like to get more project bags so that I'm not just in the plastic. So that's my winter stuff. Let me show you a little bit of spring that I have. I've done these samplings in the past. I didn't bring this with me, but I have done the samplings 1. I finished, you know what I think I did is I don't even think I finished the stitching on this. I made the other 2 eggs with the fabric that was included with the alphabet fabric. I did those 2, but I've not stitched this one. Samplings 2, I have stitched. I just have not made it into the egg yet. I think this is completely done. This is on antique white, 36 count Edinburgh linen, all the called for colors, and I think this is done. So I need to work on my finishing. I'm not the best at it. So, but you don't get better unless you try it, right? So I just need to work on it. So that is samplings 2. It'd be really great. It wouldn't take very long, would it? I just need to get that one done. And out of the way and out so I can show it, have it decorating my room. So let's move on. I'm going to go ahead and show you fall. I know I'm kind of falling back. I'm going to show you my fall projects, and then we'll move on to my everyday type of stitching. All right, so housed in this pretty bag. This was made by one of my Quilt Circle members. I had done some stitching, or done some long arming for her where she had used this as a backing fabric, and I loved it. And so then she surprised me by sending me a bag. So fun. So inside this one is my butternut house. Butternut House is a pattern by Stacy Nash. It's called the Butternut House Pin Keep. I also got this at Country Sampler when we were there last fall, and it is kitted on 36 count vintage homespun. And let me show you where I'm at on this one. I know I've done more on this one since I showed it last time on one of my floss tubes. I know I've taken this in the car with me on longer trips. I can't do cross stitch on local roads. I can do it on highways, but just local roads just bounce around too much. So, all right, here's my progress on Butternut House. So let me show you compared to the picture. So I do have the rest, so I have Butternut in, and then House will go over here. So I've only got, again, I'm a top left starter. So I start in the top left, and I did as much as I could on one page. As I worked myself down, I've done this big urn with the flower in there, and then I went ahead and did the whole house. And I just love that mustard colored house. Love, love, love that. Done the grass across the bottom, and now I'm ready to move over here. I may come back over here and start at the top and then move down this way. There are some pumpkins down at the bottom. They have faces on them. I won't add the faces on it, but there's another whole section down here that is blue with orange pumpkins in it, and I will be doing those as well. I like those. So another urn on this side, a different flower that's on than is on the other side. So the right side has a different one, but then the rest of it, we're continuing that alphabet and the stitching across there. This uses DMC threads, and I am using all of the called for threads. I have those on a thread ring. Oh, I love those colors. And again, I have those on tags that I just purchased these, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, something like that. And then I punched a larger hole in there. I have a hole punch that's that size, and then put those threads through there. And I do those for my DMCs. For like my Weeks Dye Works, my Gentle Arts, all those, I do leave those on the tag that it came on. And the rest, so the DMCs I put on those. Sorry about that. So my progress on Butternut House, this did come with the backing fabric. I bought this as a kit, like I said. So it did come with the backing fabric. And just love it. I love to pull out a piece and remember where I bought it, the trip there. So like I said, this was at Country Sampler as well, and I've done more on this one than I've done on the Oh Happy Morning, is that what it was called? So, all right, there's that one. Here is another new bag that I got from Goose. And look at this one. This one had a fall feel to me. So I'm housing a fall project in it, and then here is, this may have been a charm for Socks for Mom on Etsy, and it has a pumpkin on there. So in this one, I'll have to show you the inside fabric. Very cute, very cute. All right, this one is the Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. And this is a pattern by Brenda Gervais. Love, love, love this. I am stitching it on Valley Forge by Needle and Flax, 36 count. I have a fat half, so it's I'll be able to use this on other projects as well. So I've started on the border. I'm going to leave this folded in half. Again, my threads and things are on the front, but I stitch in hand. So when I finish, when you stitch in hand, I'm doing one stitch. I'm going down and up in one stitch, and so that means when I finish a stitch, my needle's on the top. So that's why you're seeing it there. I am using the called for threads, and here those are. Again, I have a thread ring that has the same, matches the zipper pull. Oh. Love those colors. Love the colors. So just gotten a start around the edge. I think I took this when, I think what I did is after Maggie's wedding, I don't have my 2024 book in here, but after Maggie's wedding, her wedding was on a Friday night. We had that weekend. Saturday came, or a Monday night, my boys were headed to volleyball, and it was just one of those, so I don't know if like you, weddings are wonderful, but then you have that I mean, the bottom drops out. It was worse with our oldest daughter when she got married. Oh my goodness, I was a basket case after they left. Not because I was upset. It's just this, I don't know, it's like ripping a Band-Aid off. It just hurts, okay? And so after our oldest daughter's wedding, I just went and hid. I didn't even help with cleanup because I wasn't a very friendly person. I'm telling people to do one thing, the wedding coordinator's telling people to do another, and it just wasn't going well. So I just went in and cried for a while. But I remember after Maggie's wedding that I did fine over the weekend, and then came Monday night, I'm at home by myself, Daniel's back at school, and my husband and Steven are headed to volleyball. They play volleyball on Monday nights, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here by myself. So I remember taking this project with me, and I remember sitting at volleyball and working on this. Grateful, thankful, blessed. I just needed to change my attitude. Very thankful, very grateful for my girls, for their spouses, just wonderful. But as a mama, you know, I mean, and it's been different. Weddings are different than college. So with Daniel going away to college a year and a half ago, I felt that, and I relate it to tearing a Band-Aid off. You know, college is like the Band-Aid's on there and you just rip it, and you have the major pain right there at the beginning, and then it slowly gets less. And that's the way it's been with Daniel going to college. That initial pain was very, very strong. I feel like with weddings, it's the opposite. It's just a slow tear, you know, because as their relationship with their spouse or with their soon-to-be spouse is growing and growing, you just feel more and more that they're pulling away from you, which is the way it's supposed to be. I'm not complaining at all. The way it's supposed to be. So it's just like this slow tear. And then the wedding is like that final whoop, you know, so it doesn't hurt quite as bad as if you rip the whole thing at once. It's just a little different. And that's the way it's been. So I took this with me, so I'll always remember that I'm very grateful, very thankful, and I love this project. So I am doing all the called for. I like the colors of it. I think it's very pretty, and probably won't get back to this until fall time, but love that project as well. So grateful, thankful, blessed. I really over the fall time, and maybe it was because of all of the changes in life at that time. I bought a lot of patterns. I bought new fabrics. I'm not going to show it all to you, but the fall time cross-stitching bug hit me hard, and I bought a lot of new patterns during that time. All right, and then this is also a dot goose bag. Big sunflowers. I need to change this one. I have a pumpkin charm on here, but I just recently got some sunflower charm, and I'm going to change that. So inside this one is Autumn at Not Forgotten Farm. This is a booklet, and I'll show you the pattern I am working on in this one. There's lots of good stuff in here. Not just cross stitch, but I started Turkey Trot. And I should have brought my 2024 book of days because it would have showed me when I started this. I am doing this on Cedar River linen also. This is called Spindrift. I like this color. And that's how much I got done. So started with that big mustard colored house. Okay, there's the pattern. And there's how much I get done. So I don't think I worked on this too much. So I started on the border around the edge, and you can just barely see the border on the edge of that pillow. Just barely. But that's where I started until I could get to a point where I could start on the house, because I wanted to see some big fill-in. I wanted to see some major movement on that one. So I did the stitch across here, the horizontal line, and then I started in on the house. And so then what I can do, I can work on the house for a while. When I get, finish a thread or two of that one, get a little bored, then I can go back in, I can do a little bit more of the border, a little bit more of the horizontal lines, and then I can go back and forth with that. So Spindrift, this is 36 count. This is on Cedar River linen. And there's her information. And I'm using all DMCs on this one. I don't even have them on a thread ring. This is where I just want to take a day at some point. And I want to go through all my projects, and I want to get all of these on thread rings, and I want to get everything documented, and all my stuff. I want to put all my patterns that I still need to work on in one spot, put all my threads that I have in one spot, all of my finishing things. I've been saving frames or old books or just things that I think would work well for finishing for cross stitch, and I just need to spend a day and do that. But there's all the DMCs, and like I said, this booklet by Not Forgotten Farms has lots of other projects in it. There are there's some quilting, there's some wool applique, there's some punch needle in this one. Rug hooking. I mean, there's so many different things. Let me show you on the back. There's a little bit of picture. You can see some rug hooking, some punch needle. It's just a really cute. There's other cross stitch in here, the old farmhouse. I like that one too. Here is a thimble keep or pin keep, pin cushion. Can make that. Here is another cross stitch called September's Blessing. Love the wire basket. I like that. They're all on the wall. There's 4 of them. I really like that. Here's an autumn bunting. Cute. So many projects. And then here is hooked wool. Something else I'd like to learn to do. Just laugh at me. All right, so if you don't have that book, you'll want to get it. Autumn at Not Forgotten Farm. All right, more fall time stuff. This one is a bag that I made. Let me pull out the project first. I made this one square. Used old Singer sewing machine fabric. I did use the, this isn't just batting, I think it's that soft and stable or something like that. I like the firmness that gives to a bag. I've got some others that I made just with batting, and I don't like that they're flopping around, so I like this one. Did make this one square, which sometimes isn't the best. But again, you don't know. Clarity comes in the doing. You learn what size quilt bags or project bags you like. You kind of learn, you know, do I like batting? Do I like the soft and stable? You can see my zipper pull on this one is an old sewing machine. And I don't remember where I got that one at. My bags aren't the greatest, but they're just for me. I'm not selling them to anybody. All right, so in this one, I just had the smallest start on this one. This is called Goodness and Plenty. I don't need that. Goodness and Plenty. This is a Plum Street pattern, and I was doing the pattern on the back, so I'm not going to show that to you. But Goodness and Plenty, this has 3 different charts in it, and I was working on this one right here. Again, it's an alphabet. I love alphabets, and I just got the smallest little start on this one. Just did the outline. Oh my goodness, all I did was the outline. And here are the thread colors that I have pulled. Brandied Pear, Hazelnut, Caterpillar, Wilderness, Roasted Chestnut, Manor Red, and then Cinnamon Toast. I like those colors. So I think I was working on this one as a pin keep, and then I didn't end up finishing it. So this is a great pattern because you got 3 smalls. I need to do more smalls. I would feel more accomplished instead of all the big pieces, and I could decorate quickly with these. So I love that one. Oh, the thread or the fabric. I was using a piece, I'll tell you in a minute, because I have some other projects on another part of this, and I'm going to show those to you in just, actually those are coming up next. So let me look and see what that fabric is. So this is another bag that I made. This one I feel like is way too big. or it's too floppy because I just used batting in here. So if I had used the Soft and Stable, I might like this bag better, but because of the size and then only using batting in there, it's too floppy. It flops around everywhere and I don't really like it. I used some old fabric that I had, and I used an old block, just a 9 patch that I had of the same fabrics from a project, and again, probably didn't finish it the best, but it's for me. I put it on an old pin and use that as my zipper pull. So inside this one I have a couple different projects, and that is what is and I don't even see what kind of linen this is. I don't know why I didn't keep track of that. I don't know. Let me open this up. Maybe it's because some of these pieces, they would just have a sticker attached, and if they get moved around in my bag at all, then I lose the sticker. So I'm not sure what the linen is. So I've been working on Keepers of the Pen, and you can see over here is that start that I had on the Goodness and Plenty. I've not worked on this in a while, and I really need to get back to it. So this one is Keeper of the Pens. This is by Brenda Gervais. Booklet came out, when was this? 2022. And I know many of you have just moved on. You're finished with this, and I have this one done. This one is done. And I've started on the lady over here. So this is a WIP. Work in progress. I haven't done any more. It almost looks like barbells down there, doesn't it? You think she's lifting a barbell? Oh, probably not. Let me find the pattern. A closer up picture. That's not going to help. So she's standing on a long spool of thread is what it is, but right now it kind of looks like it's a barbell. So there are, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects in this book, and so I am on the 3rd one so far. All the called for linens, all the called for threads is what I'm using, and that's my progress on that one. My WIP on the other half of this is this one. And this is from Teresa Kogut's book, Let Love Reign. This is the project on the back. And it's called Love Your Family. And it has a quote by Mother Teresa: "If you want to change the world, go home and love your family." I absolutely love this. Love this. I'm doing all the called for colors. I'm not one that changes threads too often. I just feel like the designers know what they're doing, and I don't feel confident at this point in changing too many colors. Confession, blue is not one of my favorite colors. I really kind of like the darker colors. So at this point, I have already done the blue flowers at the top and the blue bird at the top. So I'll probably go ahead and finish the blue in the house. There's not too much more blue on it. So there's blue in the house. You know, I don't, at this point, I don't think changing, I don't want to pull anything out. I don't want to pull anything out. So I'll finish it the way it is, and I'll find a nice spot for this in our house. But got this house done. Look at that roof. 2 different colorways. It's done like in a checkerboard fashion. Can you see? So fun. So fun. I love that. So love the houses. So pretty. So that is Let Love Reign, or Love Your Family. That's the book by Teresa Kogut. And I have both of these projects in the same bag because I have them on the same piece of linen. And I didn't want to cut them apart. I'll just cut them apart when I'm done with the project. So, all right, let's move on to some other projects, not so themed by season. This one is another bag that I made. This one, actually, the wording on it, Let Heaven and Nature Sing. It has a Christmas theme to it, but with the houses, I just used this. I made this my Sunday stitch, although I haven't done that in quite a while. I tried. Life just, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying life, but it doesn't always go as planned at this point, you know. So this is the Day by Plum Street sampler. I am stitching it on 36 count Edinburgh linen flax, and I started this in April 2022, and I called it my Sabbath stitch. And so here is the pattern. And like I said, I'm not a big bright pink and that kind of thing, but I just love this stitch. So again, I left everything as called for. All right. Wow, I should get back to this one. Let me hold it over here. All right. The house, mostly done. I'll come back and talk about that in just a second. The urn with the flowers is all mostly finished. I got a little bit to fill in there. Started on the words across the bottom, really like that. I do have, this is one of those points I probably should have changed my whites here because those really don't show up very well. That sheep stack, if that's what you want to call it. And even the smoke in the chimney and this one up here, they're not showing up real well in this linen, but honestly, what I like most about this one is the house and the flowers anyway, so just because those others don't show up, that's not that big of a deal. All right, so I did have a mess up on the house. I've shown this to you in the past, and others said just start from the bottom, because I had done this side, gone over here, and I realized I had a mess up somehow. So, and I tried to fudge, and others said, well, just start from the bottom now and work up and then see how you can mesh the two in the middle. And that's about the point I'm at. All of this is filled in. What I'm going to have to do, what I think I realized, and it's been a while since I've looked at this, right in here I've messed up. My windows are offset. They're offset by a stitch. This set of windows is one stitch to the right than this one. I don't think anybody's going to notice. I'm not going to point it out. I just did, but I'm not going to point it out when it's finished. But in order to make the bricks here in between the windows fit, I'm going to have to do some unpicking a little bit and then readjust my spacing in there. And then I think it'll be fine. It's off just a tad bit, but eventually I think it'll be fine. So I have all the bricks filled in, but then I've got the, if you want to call it the mortar in between the bricks, I still need to fill in that part. And that's an easy fill-in thing that once the rest of it's done, then that'll be super easy to fill in. So just a little bit more. I just got to figure out that house in between there. Lots of words, but words go fast. I don't mind words at all. And then over on the side there, you've got the sun and a crow standing on top of those sheep and a butterfly. So just odds and ends here to go. I'm using all the called for threads in this one. I didn't change anything, and I read to you the linen already. So, and again, I don't cut my linen down until I finish the project, and then I can cut it away and then use that linen on other smaller projects. But I just like to keep the whole linen together. I don't know. That's the way I work, I guess. All right, and here's all the called for colors. So this could even be a spring project that I could work on because they're very springy colors. It has been my Sabbath stitch in the past, but I haven't been able to keep, haven't been able to keep up with that in a while either. So, all right, got that one all put back away. Let me slide these others down. Got them all sitting on my long arm over here. All right, so some other ones that I have in progress. This is also called Keeper of the Pins. And this is by Little House Needleworks. Just a small. And this was a kit, so I'm using all of the called for things. I think it was a kit. No, maybe not, because I'm stitching it on lamb's wool. This is a 32 count, which is a little bigger than I'm used to, but 32 count, so maybe, I don't know if this was a kit. It's been too long ago. I do have the pins that go with it, is why I'm wondering if I Just Another Button. No, this is Just Pins. Oh yeah, Just Another Button Company. Those are pins that match the project. See how they finished that? See, that's what I'm talking about, the finishing, how the cross stitch piece is on one side and then you add the extra fabric on the other. A little bit of, this one doesn't have any rickrack or anything, but I really like that and I need to get better at doing that. So I'm using all the called for. This one's kind of a springy one as well. I pulled this out of another bag, but it's still on a key or on a floss ring that has a house on it. So I don't really have too much more to go on this one. Let me show you the thing again. I've started on the girl, and you can just barely see her dress down there at the bottom, starting on that. The vine next to her, it comes up and goes all the way over across the house top. I've got the vine all the way on the left-hand side finished. Everything across the bottom is done. Yep, the flower next to the house is done. So just a little bit on top, mostly this and the girl is what I need to work on. Very cute. Very cute. This would be a nice spring piece as well to keep out in the springtime, just with the colors of it. I think that would be a nice piece in the springtime, and I like that. So lamb's wool, 32 count. It is a little, the 32 count is a little bigger. Now I mentioned earlier on the Prairie Schooler that I was using 2 threads. On this one, I started with 2 threads. Did not like the chunkiness of 2 threads, so I did drop back to 1 thread. But I didn't pull out what I'd done 2 threads on. So over here, this is done with 2 threads, and I just didn't like how full it was. So, but I left that, but then everything else I've done with 1 thread, and I like that a little bit better. I think it's more of a vintage feel, which is what I like, just the 1 thread. And so that's what I did. So again, the clarity comes in the doing. So I know for me personally, on 25 count, I like the 2 threads better. On 32 count, I like 1 thread better. I just like that coverage better. All right, another new bag. Sherry So Sweet, Jane Austen fabrics. Now this one is no vinyl on the front. I like that. I think it's really cute. And the good thing about the vinyl, I guess, is you can see what's on the inside. But I like this one. And then there's a little charm there. Haven't found a different charm or thread pull, or thread floss drop or thread floss drop or zipper pull that I liked on this one. So, all right, I have 2 projects in here. This is currently my monthly things, my monthly assignment things that I'm doing. So 2 projects in here. The first one I will show you is 1 stitch at a time. And I am doing this with our Quilt Circle membership. This is also a stitch along going along with a Facebook group that I can't remember the name of right now. I will put that down below. I'm not on Facebook very much. I just know that it's going along there as well. And we joined in, our whole Quilt Circle group, or as many as wanted to, joined in as well. So 1 stitch at a time by Lottie Da. I did buy this as a kit from 123 Stitch. I did my January assignment and then I fell off the bandwagon and have not done my February assignment, and we're on to March. This will be going on vacation with me when we head out on vacation, so I will be hopefully get caught up on February and March while we're gone. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm using all the called for threads, and I am stitching on Fiber on a Whim wheat, 36 count, yeah, from Fiber on a Whim wheat. So a little darker of a linen. I like that. Let me show you the threads. Do I have the threads here? Maybe they're still in the back. Still in the back. I do have these. So my floss drop here is kind of a sampler. Doesn't quite match the bag, but that's why I said I just need a day. Spend it. Okay, look at those colors. Those muted colors, I like those. Now others in my Quilt Circle membership say that this stitch is very fast. It's hard to put down once you start. So I'm working on the words there at the top. Others have already done the house. Others have changed the house from a blue to a red, and I kind of like that. I'm not sure I like this purplish there with it, so I may look and see if I have, but with the other colors here, some of my other darker reds that I like aren't going to match that. So I would need to find a red that blends with these colors well. But I kind of like a darker house would be pretty, or do I just go with the called for? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm glad I hadn't gotten to the house yet and I could see kind of what other people were doing to decide whether I wanted to do that or not. But very pretty. So like I said, this is going on vacation with me. Hope to get some of that done. So if you join the Facebook group, and I'll link that down below, Across the Pond, Sal is what it's called, Across the Pond. And I'll link that down below. And if you join there, they do have a printout that you can do that shows the assignments. They're just numbered, so you can start anywhere you want. So if you're a middle starter, you can start with the section that's in the middle. If you're an upper left-hand starter like I am, that's where I started, and now I'm moving down. So it's not done by months per se, it's done by sections. You pick a section that you want to work on. And like I said, others in my membership have said, this stitch is so fast, it's hard to put down once you start. All right, the other monthly assignment that I'm doing is the Fox and Rabbit Mystery Sampler for 2025. They do one of these mystery samplers every year, and so this is free right now. So the first of each month, they publish the next installment, I guess if you want to say that, for the mystery. Once the year is done, then you can purchase the pattern. So if you're a person that you're not sure if you like it, then just wait till the next year. There are others on their website that are from prior years that you can go back and purchase those patterns. Very, very pretty. This one is called Cloister Garden. There's month 1. There's month 2. And I do need to print out March. I am using, what am I using? I have a very large piece. I am doing this one on 40 count, and this is where I mentioned earlier. Oh my goodness, where is my, okay. I don't see what it is. I know it's 40 count. I know I told you the last time. I'm gonna have to write it down because I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and find it. All right, so this was January. You've already seen this. I showed you this on one of my quilting videos. So this was January. I am using a DMC. And here is the color. I'm using green. So I like black, but for this one, I wanted to use things I already had. So I already had this 40 count linen on hand. It was only a piece large enough that I had that would fit this entire sampler on there, because they tell you at the beginning what your requirements are. And I had this floss on hand. I had 2 skeins of it. It accidentally went through the wash. It's still fine. But I did take it to Joann's, and I found what I thought was the closest color, because I had not written this down before it went into the wash, and then it destroyed the things. So this is 934. It is a very dark green color. And I don't know how I bought this many skeins. It tells you in the pattern how many you need, but that's how many I bought. And so this, and I really enjoyed this. Was just January. You can see I am ready to do February, and notice how it is goes around the outside of that one. It's going to be so pretty. And I haven't even looked at the March one. So I house these 2 in the same bag because they are my monthly assignments, and I just need to keep them out and work on them. So like I said, this is going on vacation with me. I hope to get caught up on both of those, and just love the bag. Let me stick all this back in here. My Jane Austen bag. So, so cute. All right. This is an older WIP. This is again a bag that I made. I like the size of this one. Again, I wish I'd used the soft and stable because it's a little flimsy. Let me show you the fabric. This is an old Debbie Mum fabric line. I had this. Oh my goodness, I had so much of this fabric. I had curtains in my sewing room made from this green fabric for a long time. Creative Woman is what it's called. So I just wish I had done some soft and stable. It would make this more stable than the batting that's in there. All right, the project that is in this one was the Scarlet House. This is Martha Evans, 1879. This was a birthday start for Brenda of Brenda and the Cereal Starter a couple years ago. And her birthday's in January, my birthday's in January, so I decided to do this. Actually, my husband bought me this as a gift. And all the pattern, all the called for linen and the threads, it was all a gift. So I've been working on this one for a couple years. I started out on 40 count linen. And I made it this far. My first experience with 40 count, and I did not like it. So I bought 36 count linen. This is flax linen by Zweigart. This is a huge piece. Again, I like to keep my whole piece together until I'm done with the project. Not worked on this one in a while either. I was doing sampler Saturdays, and I just haven't done that for a while. So Martha Evans, all the called for threads. I've done some of the border. Again, I said, I work on the border until I get some reference points, and then I start towards the middle. Done the basket in the middle. I've moved on to the words. The words go really fast. And then the motifs on this side, if I remember right, exactly echo the motifs on the other side. So I think what I'm going to start doing, I need to go in and do these over here. And then as I do one over here, I do the other one over there and do it in double time. So here are all the called fors. These are all DMCs. I didn't do the other choices. So DMCs. I did buy this as a kit from Colorado Cross Stitcher. Like the darker colors. There's some bright pops there. So that's my progress on this one. This is a big one. She's big. Let me see what the stitch count on this one is. 260 by 258 it is square, but it's a large project. And as I've done more samplers, I'm not as big of a fan of samplers. I don't know. I like it. I like the history of it. But I kind of like more of a curated picture, I guess I want to say. So I like the Plum Streets. Is probably my favorite designer. I love Not Forgotten Farms. I like the primitiveness of that one, and other designers. So I'm kind of drawn to the samplers, but then once I get into them, they kind of, I don't know. They're not always my favorite to work on. So. All right, let me show you another one. This one was my daily stitch. Again, I've just fallen off the bandwagon. Life threw me for a loop last year. Oh my goodness. All good stuff. Just all good stuff. But man, has it made life different. I can tell you that for sure. All right, so this is a Bristol sampler. I bought this when I visited the attic 2 years ago. And so sad to lose Jean. I did get to meet Jean while I was there at the attic, and I'm so grateful that I had a chance to meet her. So Bristol samplers, I love the history of Bristol samplers, absolutely love it. I love the alphabets of this one. So this kind of a sampler actually is more appealing to me than the Martha Evans. And I don't know if it's because it's one color or if it's just all the different motifs. I don't know. Whether it's the history of, I don't know what it is, but I love the Bristol samplers. So Mary, $3.95, 1869. My birthday is 1969, so this one that's why I chose this one. I liked the alphabets, but I also just liked 100 years before me, so very fun. I am doing, this linen is not my favorite. It's very, very stiff. Let me find my board. it's very stiff, and so it's not always my favorite to work on. And the linen is French lace linen. This is on 40 count. But again, like I said, I'm getting more used to 40 count the longer and because this is so big, that's why I went with the 40 count. This one on 40 count measures, it'll end up being 18 by 19. I don't know the stitch count. I don't see the stitch count. Oh, 378 by 396. So by going with the 48 count or 40 count linen, it'll make the project just a tad bit smaller. This is also my first time using any sort of silk. So I'm using this Splendor 12 ply silk strandable Splendor made in France. This is in black. Does it have a name? I think it's just black. So I bought enough skeins of all of it. So 100% silk, 12 ply. I did buy this at Persnickety Stitches in Zionsville, Indiana. That is the closest needlework shop that I have, cross stitch shop. I also love to go to Always in Stitches, which is up in Noblesville, Indiana. They have the whole front of the store is all quilting. You get to the back and it's all cross stitch. They have really changed over in the last couple years to a very nice assortment of cross stitch in the back, and so I love going there as well. Both of those places are an hour and a half away. Another one that I've only visited once down in Evansville, Indiana, small little shop. I don't even know if it's still there or not, but it was jam-packed. I bet the place was not much bigger than my room right here, but it was jam-packed with so much stuff. My first purchases when I got back to cross stitching was there, and so I would love to go back there, but I don't make it down to Evansville very much either. But I did buy this, so I bought this pattern at the attic when I was there a couple years ago. When I finished my other daily stitch that I was doing, then I started this one, and I had this linen already in my stash, so that's why I used it. And then I bought the silks at Persnickety Stitches. So the very silks, I've enjoyed it. I'm using all one thread. It does flow through there very nicely. I haven't had any trouble. I love the intricacy of this, and you can see I'm going to be at this a long time if I don't get started on it, because I am just on the top row. So I've not done my daily stitch in quite a while either. I'm just figuring out routine again. Sometimes I feel like I'm treading water just to keep my head above water sometimes at this point, but we're getting it figured out. So I love that one. I love the whole history of the Bristol samplers and the orphanage there, and just loving them. Let me put this one. What did I have this in? Oh, I just had it in a bag. I don't want to misplace anything, so I am trying very hard to put everything back. So sorry if that is distracting to you. All right, so those are everything I have except some Patriotic stuff. And I have I have two Patriotic WIPs. Here is another bag I made. I like this one. I don't remember the pattern I used, but a house one, I love it. This one has the house zipper pull. I love that. And let me show you what is housed in here. Ha ha ha, that's funny. Okay. This one, yeah, I was going to say, I think I switched bags because this one has a rooster. I just need to spend time. Get all of these back coordinated. Okay, in this bag, I did put a house project. This is Liberty Lodge by Plum Street Samplers. Like I said, this is a Patriotic one. That's why I'm showing it to you with this section of stuff. And let me show you where I'm at. This is stitched on 36 count Country Mocha. I did purchase that from Kitten Stitcher. And this is where I'm at. Another big house. So a big gray house with this one, the red truck in the front. You can see that. Let me hold it like this. So the house is pretty much done. I just have a little bit of section here, and there's another flower that comes in right here. I've started working on the truck and the tires on that, and then this black outline. So again, I try to do as much as I can with one color thread. So I did this outline as much as I could, and then I started on the truck tire. I do think I had a little bit of a miscount there somewhere, so that may have been why I stopped where I did, because I'm trying to figure out how to fudge it a little bit without having to take anything out. So yeah, look at that. I mean, this one's not that far from being done. The truck is basically done, and I just have the tires, and then the whole big flower coming up out of the bed of the truck would not take that long. And then I have the rest of the checkerboard border. So Liberty Lodge, muted colors. It's not big, stark red, white, and blue. To me, it reminds me of Patriotic just because of the name Liberty Lodge. But I think this one could, and it says 1776, but it could come out any time of year. And then there are the threads on the linen. So if I wanted to, maybe this red, it's kind of a purpley red. Maybe that would work for my one stitch at a time for the house on that one. That might work for that one. What color is that? Red Currant. Might be nice. All right, so that is Liberty Lodge. I really have enjoyed pulling these projects out today and seeing all that I have going, and some of them aren't too far from finishing up, and I just need to work on it. One more WIP that I guess would be a Patriotic WIP. So this is things that I can work on over the summertime. I do decorate with Patriotic from Memorial Day all the way to Labor Day, the entire summertime there. So this one is Bless Our Land. This is also Plum Street. Probably one of my favorite designers. Plum Street, like everybody. All right, and fabric. I am using flax linen, 36 count by Zweigart. Again, these linens are a little stiffer. No! Oh, I thought I had a start on this one. I don't even have a start. I thought I had it started. It's not started. It's kitted. Here's all the threads. Man, I thought I had a start on this one. Okay. So I'm using all the called for. Some are DMC, a couple DMC. The others are over-dyeds. So that will be pretty too. Just kitted up. Oh my goodness. And that's not that big. 74 by 74. So maybe I could start that. Maybe Memorial Day. I don't know. That might be a good time just to plan on stitching Memorial Day. A couple other things I kitted up. So when one of our trips up to Minnesota last summer, we stopped in Amana, Iowa on our way up, and there's a cute little quilt store, and they also have cross stitch there as well, and I kitted this up while I was there. This is the collaboration between Plum Street and Shakespeare's Peddler. This is the Stars and Stripes. I'm not going to take them out, so I hope that's not too much of a glare. These are companion pieces. So this is the Stars one. Love, love, love that. I have all the threads in there. I have the Lady Dot Creates Vintage Chenille. That's the chenille that goes around the outside edge of that pillow. I do need to pick fabric for this one. So it calls for 40 count graham cracker. I don't have that. I have some other linens from I have some that I purchased from 123 Stitch. I have some other Cedar River linens that I have. I've got some from, I'm part of Farm Girl Dry Goods Patreon account, and she sends out fabrics once a quarter. I showed you the pink one that I got over Valentine's Day, but I have some older ones too that I might pull out. But I do want to do them on the same, I want to do them all on the same one, so I make sure I have enough. And so this one is the pillow, and then it's the stripes one with the barn there. Love that. Oh my goodness. So the stitch count for the is 65 by 103. The stitch count for the stripes is 110 by 110. Love that. So those are my Patriotic ones. I had a couple other things I wanted to share with you. That's all my WIPs. I do have other stuff that's kitted up, but I just decided not to not to show you all that. I have other things that I have patterns, but not kitted as well. But one of the things, another pattern that I purchased, I don't even know when I purchased this, but I have to show you this, and I have to tell you about this. So this pattern, I found this at Persnickety Stitches as well, up in Zionsville, Indiana. And I saw this pattern. This is by Little House Needleworks, and this is called These Is My Words. This is based on a novel by Nancy Turner. It's actually a 3-set series. I've listened to the first 2. Actually, the first time I read the book, These Is My Words, it is a novel written by Nancy Turner, but it's written as a diary. The diary of Sarah Agnes Prine, and you can see her name right there on this one. So Sarah, it starts out, These Is My Words is the first book, and it starts out with Sarah as a teenager. Her and her family are traveling. They're pioneers. They're traveling across the U.S. and they're going to settle in Arizona. That's where they end up. I'm not sure if that's where they were headed, but anyway, so she starts out as a teen, and it's just her diary as they're going along. It is a novel, but obviously it's based on events that happened, but it's life. And I absolutely love Sarah. I wish she was a real person, because I love her grit. I love her courage. I love her respect for men. But she's a strong woman, and I love her character in that she is a courageous woman. She's a strong woman. She faces challenges. She's not afraid to work. She's intentional about raising her children, but she has a very healthy respect for good men, for respectable men. I love the way that's portrayed in the book. She loves her husband dearly. I love the love story that's between them. And just life as it happens, and how she deals with troubles. She, her mother and her children, and how she's, you're caring for this generation and raising this generation. I just absolutely love her. She is a thrill. I just love her. So the second book is called Sarah's Quilt. Love that one too. That's later on in her life. Middle, I guess I want to say. And Sarah's Quilt talks all about her mom and how they quilt. They have the frame that lowers down from the living room window. Her mom always sets out a chair for the unknown woman, meaning somebody is going to stop by and just going to help us, going to stop by for a visit, and she's going to sit down and quilt with us. I love that. So if you have never listened to these books, I read them first. I borrowed them from the library. I borrowed These Is My Words, and then I borrowed Sarah's Quilt. I read them first. I recently listened to them again on audio, loved them as much the second time. I want to purchase them because there are quotes throughout the book that I want to highlight and just keep in my heart and keep for posterity, because they are just great. I love her intentional raising of her children. I love her relationship with her grandchildren when they're older, or when she gets a little older. I'm currently reading the third book, Garden, the Star Garden, I think. I'm currently listening to that one. It's the first time I've listened to that one. But the sampler, so it has the house, it has the covered wagon, it has the quilt, it has the alphabet, it has her initials, and then her garden. So it's almost like, so this top half, These Is My Words, that's really what the first book is about. The middle section is the quilt, and that's really what the second book is about. And then the third section down here in the bottom is really the third book, which is the Star Garden. And I'm just getting into that one. I don't know the whole story behind the garden part, but I just love this. At some point I haven't even kitted this up yet. It does use DMCs and Classic Colorworks. It shows it on 32 count. I'll probably do 36 count just because I like that one the best. But here is a book expert a book excerpt. This is written on the back. July 22nd, 1881, me and Mama rolled up the dishes in curtains and packed the bedding and quilts that was finished in between her mirror and a real glass window. We was taken from out the front wall. All the packing was done, and we was pulling out down the road, and I couldn't take my eyes off the little house sitting there lonesome, looking with that window open like a mouth calling us back. Ahead of us, the boys are driving the herd, and behind us our dogs, Two Buddy and Bear, running and playing and chasing a rabbit now and then. Papa gave me a can of hoof black to use for writing, and I have whittled some quills from our old rooster's tail feathers. He said he never saw a body more set on writing letters than me, and that's how the first book starts out. So, you're going to want to get this one, or just go listen to the books, you know, if you never stitch it. But what I want to do is, as I stitch this, is listen to them again. So the story behind the sampler, she says, the subject of this sampler is the American West Trilogy by Nancy Turner. The first book, These Is My Words, followed by Sarah's Quilt in the Star Garden. And then it says, I started dreaming about a design for the books, never thinking in a million years that there would actually be one. I contacted Nancy, who lived in Tucson, and we met at the annual Festival of Books here at the University of Arizona. We formed a friendship and a mutual respect for one another's work. These Is My Words is a loving creation based on the spirit of the book and my design imagination. Just absolutely love that one. So I brought that out just so I could show you. That's got a special place in my heart. And one last thing I wanted to share with you. Sorry, this video is getting to be so long, but I found this at an antique store. And I see so many others doing little cases, and I've seen them do, you know, much smaller cases where they make it their stitching case. And I found this little suitcase, and I just love it. What I would like to do is finish this on the inside. You can see, well used, but I just love it. I would like to make this my stitching case, have in here a clipboard in there, so whatever pattern I'm currently working on, I can clip it into there. Have my scissors, my glasses. I usually keep scissors and glasses in whatever project I'm working on, but I would love to have a box that I can just open up, have extra needles, have a clipboard that I can use, maybe a light in here, so that if I go on retreats, I can take this with me. And it's large enough that I can fit my pattern, whatever I'm taking with me to work on, just like this. It may be cumbersome, I don't know. But I just thought it was too darling to pass up. Ooh, hope I can get it closed again. Oh, there we go. Okay. Too darling to pass up. So if you have ideas on how you think I should finish this, I did say earlier blue's not one of my favorite colors, but I fell in love with this one. So I'm not sure what color I'll do in the middle, how I'll finish the inside. I've watched some other videos, got some ideas, but this is one of my projects that I would like to work on in the near future and finish this up so I can just grab my stitching box, take it with me, have everything I need in there, and I can then, it's large enough that I can grab my patterns, one of my bags, and it will fit right inside there, and I like that as well. So tell me what you think of my little suitcase. So I hope you've enjoyed today's WIP parade. This has made me so excited to get back to cross stitching, and I hope you'll tell me in the comments what your favorite one was for today. And I will be back next week with a quilting video, because every quilt is worth finishing. We'll see you then.